Vallejo is white. It's pretty good as far as a white goes, except that it's very thick, and you have to be careful. I've never used this. Oh, I mean, I have used this ink, but I mean, it's thinner for sure, and it's more usable. I say it's more usable because the other one is so thick. It's a pain in the rear to use. They're base white. Well, I think I want to lighten it up just a bit down here. I don't want it to be quite that dark. Just trying to take the black out of the black, you know? Not too bad, not too bad. I'm not exactly sure how best to come at him for other improvements. I don't know if I want him all white. I think I might even have to change those tails of his, color his tails up a little bit, and maybe his spikes. I don't know. I mean, he looks okay. He's definitely got left some detail and some shading, but maybe I don't have enough white over the top. What next? Do I have anything else that needs to be airbrush white? Probably not. It's not like a common thing to be airbrushing something white. I wonder if I put a thin coat of this on his hair, he'd probably look better. Indeed, he does look better that way. Yeah, that's nice. That's way better. He was just all black, and I wanted him to have more of a, I don't know, more, just, yeah, didn't want to do that much white on his nose. Might be a bit much on the nose, but, a bit on the nose, but I'll have to fix that later. Okay. Just pops him out a little bit. Okay. What else? I guess that's it for now. If I want to do a down prime on somebody, maybe on her, because she is not supposed to be that light. This guy's not even primed at all, really. I don't even know if his paint will stick to his arm. Old lady. I know, I'm just kind of burning time, really. I'm just trying to burn my paint, actually, not burn time, so. Did her staff break? No, that's just the top of a weird staff. Oh, the bottom of her staff broke. Great. guys, how they're breaking their stuff. But I think that's gonna have to do. I didn't really do his. Alright, I did get some on my sword, by the way. It's not too bad, but it's one thing at a time, I guess. Now I'm stopping here, so what that means is I got to get a better clean, an extra good clean out of this. We don't want any of the paint to be in the airbrush. One more just rinse here. Just want to make sure it's coming back pretty clean. Alright. I think we're good. Hopefully we're good. Alright, so let's take this off so I can get my face exposed to the air. Right. So we're still working on the owlbear a little bit. We got to figure out what we want to do to make him a little bit more, give him some decent eyes. Still not totally sure about. Definitely got to fix the eyes. But I feel like he needs something else. Some other color. And I probably should seal his arm up. I didn't realize his arm had such a distinct crack on it. Well, I gotta paint the base. But okay, so here's what I usually do with the base. I usually put like this stuff I have. It's called earth stuff. Do I have it in here? Because I can slop it on. I have a ton of it, and then I can, I don't know, put other things on there, grass and junk, to make him look a little less, you know, generic. But gotta find it. Where is my? Where did I put it? Maybe it's back on my. It might actually be in over here. Hold on, it's probably back here. It's called brown earth. Got a big old bucket of it. Well, it's not a big old bucket, but there's my brown earth. This is what I use for large scale, or well, large in the sense that this guy is pretty big. Not huge scale or gargantuan scale, but large scale base filler. And what it allows me to do is like take this guy's base and make it, you know, look more appropriate to the area that he's on. And this is, you can see I have my nice little opening there. And then I usually just take something like my little scoop here, and then I just start slopping this stuff on. So hopefully it's not all dried out. I haven't used it in a little while, but it should be okay. I mean, oh yeah, we're good. This guy's gonna take a while, take a bit. This is even the big side of my scoop here. It does dry pretty rough. I mean, you can, I think, put it on smoother, but it just tends to dry rough. It's kind of gravelly. And you can paint it, of course, if you have to. If you want it not to be brown earth, turn it to green earth, or you can put stuff in it. It's wet, so this is a good time to try to put things in it, because it will get hard. Like if you want to put some grass or other stuff on it. Now here's the deal. I should have put what do you call it? I should have put a magnetic base on here. Not magnetic, but flex iron base, so that I could be holding this from underneath instead of trying to hold it on the sides here. Trick is to not drop it. You can scrape it off the sides if you don't want it like on the sides of your base, which I will. I'll clean it off once it dries or whatever. I don't have to do it right now. Trying to get it on other things, like the rocks that are already on here or whatever, just because. And you do want it, you don't necessarily want it smooth to the point of. Now I will overlap the actual base with it, because I don't want that line, you know, the divider line. But once painted, hopefully it won't be that noticeable. The other option is you can just slop this stuff in there all the way in and just go up on all the cracks and crevices and just definitely have no line, because then you're just basically, it is the base again, filling the base. You know, some of your goals to try to make it look natural, right? So you can put it up right next to his feet, right up, however you want it. And this is something I bought. Where did I get this? At Michael's or something? Just a big container of brown earth. Okay, so I have a variety of what do you call it? Basing materials. Another thing that I sell, well, I do sell through my website, except my website's down right now because things are a little slow. We don't have any product for the main thing people like is, of course, the main case or the X case, and as a result, we don't have. And since we're sold out, not a lot of people come to the site lately. And then they come and they buy some basing materials and stuff. Now we're not very great at advertising. We being me. I am not the greatest at advertising. No, I don't want those ones. These are not what I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and maybe tuck a little grass in here. I'm gonna think I probably shouldn't be putting this stuff on yet. I should probably be waiting until I have the base at least painted a little bit. I guess I'm gonna be painting around the bushes. Not much, but we'll have to do some stuff with the base to get it colored better. There we go. Get him kind of getting closer and closer. Now it looks like a more of a kind of, just looks better now just because he's now standing on a real terrain. It's just something more realistically looking, but I still think something I need. He needs like his wings colored a little bit more or something. I'm trying to decide if I want to stick some liquid earth in those cracks on his arms. Liquid, not liquid earth, liquid green stuff. I do have, it's not really liquid, it's just a thinner stuff. Liquid green stuff. It's not really liquid, it's just really thin. Green stuff is usually almost like a paste because you mix it up. It's basically clay. This is much thinner, but still kind of a pain in the rear to apply. Sometimes I see things and they just bug me to the point where I got to deal with it. So the question is, can I do this without, I mean, I will have to fix the paint, but now ideally, if you're going to do this, you should put it on when you put the when you attach the arm. You even put it in the crack as you're putting the arm on, and then it'll squeeze out a little bit and probably be way better, but I'll try that. Maybe I can sand it down a little bit and then get some paint on that, get it back to looking normal. Okay, so sorry, it's off screen. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 3:03 p.m.
So I got people coming over in about an hour and a half. All right, let's look at my lizard, shall we? So this is the lizard I was working on. Still looks like he's missing something. I don't know. It's too solid colored. I think I need a... I'm really not sure what I want there. I think I wanted that light green that I put on to be a little bit more obvious that I put it on. It did lighten him up a little bit. But didn't really. Owlbear's looking pretty good. I'm actually starting to connect to it. My brain is starting to connect to it a little bit. I still got to get that base kind of colored off. Maybe once I darken that up, separate it from his body, he'll stand out more again, and he'll look better even still. But I got to get that. I'll probably have to brush though, because I won't go with air paint. This guy, all I did was on him is just spray white on him. He was a black, all white, all black guy, but I just sprayed white in his face, and it gave a lot of highlight to him. This is one of the minis that you just get from. He used to be, I think, a Wizards of the Coast mini. He's a direwolf, but now he looks much more interesting. Just throwing white in his face. That's all I did. White ink. This guy needs a base though. I can't keep having him roaming around without a base. So do I put him on a base like that one? Should I paint the base first? I don't know what mini this was meant for. I do have a few decorated bases. I could just put them on a generic one, just like that. Probably be good enough if I didn't want to use that big base. I don't know, I kind of like to use my fancy bases for things that I consider more fancy. See this guy, all I did, that's basically, this might be Martian Earth. All I did is put Martian Earth on there. It's just very thin, just enough to make it look kind of ripply, like dirt, like a ground, instead of whatever. So I can paint it brown or whatever, and then it'll be. You can see all I've done is paint the swords, because I had some extra silver airbrush paint painted on his arms, on his things. Okay, so what else? I want to get more paint on him, I think. Let's put another coat of. Let's see if they actually gave me any airbrush paints that are light green. It's a pretty basic set of colors, so it's only like 8 colors. Green skin is too dark. Yeah. I mean, you can use regular paints. I could probably grab one. I don't have a ton of pre-made air paints. Like I said, that I kind of hoped the play green I used would have been better, but it was kind of dark. Now it could just be the problem it had was it was a dark. See, this is what it's supposed to look like. And it has a patchiness to it, which is something that actually sounded good to me. I like the idea of the patchiness, but I just don't know if maybe that's just the layers thing. You know what I could do is purposely patchy him, patchonize him. I don't know if he wants to be, if he likes being patronized, but. And that's way lighter than him. It was way lighter than him there, so it's probably just too thin. I just need to put a thicker coat on. I'm going back to the airbrush. Alright, that's it for now. Really can't do too much, because when you're doing coats of airbrushing, it has to dry before you can, I mean, you don't have to, but you want it to be mostly dry so that when you put another layer on, it's not gonna. I'm actually tempted to try my other patchy green on top of that. A little blend, but it's also a lighter color, so. But I'm going to do something different. I've got a plan. I've got an idea. I'm hoping to make it work. We'll see. So the goal there is to try to make him look patchy. But we will see how that works. I'm just playing, man. All right. Where do I want to put it? Put it back over there. Okay, so what else? This guy needs. Okay, so let's get out the regular paints, shall we? And then I kind of want to put him on a base, but he'll have to wait now because I just put some paint on him. This guy is one I've been working on. He needs. His vest is supposed to be a different color, and it is, but it needs to be lighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more of this, just put some of this malignant green on him. I'm going to put it on his vest, just to try to get his vest to, I don't know, lighten up a bit, man. It's way too heavy, man. Oh. Boink. How's it look? It's the blurriness of this. There you go. It focused. I'm surprised. Usually when I get that close, I won't see. This autofocus is kind of poor. Probably shouldn't be using autofocus. I mean, I shouldn't be using autofocus. Not probably. Let's fix that. Alright, see if that's any better. It's kind of hard to get a good focus, and I apologize for that. Huh. I gotta get a better camera. Does anybody have an extra $1,000 they want to lend me to get a better camera? Alright, so here's what I want to do. So I have this plan. I want to make this sword rusty. I want to make it look like it's a rusty sword. So what I'm going to do is put some movement green away. Black brown, barbarian flesh, and holy white. You may still use this holy white, but we just have to know with that. So we have flex irons. You put on the bottom of minis. I'm getting myself distracted here. Hold on. Yeah, let's do this rust thing first. There's a few things. So what's it better? Put rust on silver or silver on rust? Probably rust on silver. Okay, so let's find my silver first of all. Broadsword silver? Sure, why not? It's the same one I used. It's actually very silver. This is very silver. And as far as speed paint goes, Actually, no, wait a minute. This is not. I'm getting them confused. I have an airbrush that's actually called plate mail silver. That's different. That one is this one. This is very silver. I don't know how much they differ, but this is a contrast paint that's supposed to be silver. Don't know what the difference is. Guess we'll find out in a minute. I'm just painting one sword here, so I don't need a lot of it. So. And I'm not really painting the majority of it. I really just want the blade. And I don't even need to do a lot of the blade because ultimately I'm going to try to make this look rusty. I think that's what Xandri dust is for. Now I have a rust brown. I'll probably go over it with that. But we'll start with this. So this guy, he's a metal mini, and one thing I like about this mini is that they actually made an effort with the blade. Some of their injection molds, it's like super thick. It's like the blade is probably, oops, I gotta turn off my compressor here. It's super thick to the point where it doesn't look like they're hitting them with a board or their blade. It's just kind of weird. Okay, that's all I needed. That's all the silver that guy needed. And I don't really have anybody else that needs silver, so that's just going to sit on my board until it tries out. so that's that. Here, put silver. Good. These guys really aren't that good. I mean, they're bad. He's not finished, mind you, but just he's been handled too, so that doesn't help. She's actually not terrible, but actually she's kind of cool. She came out pretty good. All right, so I keep bumping the light. I'm sorry. I keep leaning forward into the light because I want to look. I want to look at it in the so that you can see it, but with my magnifying glasses, I have to be close, and then I hit the mirror. I hit the camera right there, and well, that's all she wrote at that point, right? Once you've done that, you've smacked your head and everything shakes. So I haven't. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to figure out how to use Andrew Dust. I think it's supposed to be a rust thing. But I'm not positive how you're supposed to put it on. All right, so hold on. Let me grab my reference tool here. That would be my phone. We're gonna look up how to apply Xandru Dust. Let's see how to apply Xandru Dust. Xandru Dust. Huh? Let's see what this is. Games Workshop Xandru Dust. Oh no, I don't want that. That just tells you the color. Xandru Dust. Amazon. Tutorial bases. Alright, let's try that one. Yeah.
So far. This one's going to be a lighter one though, so we're going to begin with Xandru Dust as our base colour, and I've used Chaos Black as the primer, so it's going to take probably 3 coats of this, but thin down the paint enough so that it just trickles into all of the
maybe it doesn't do the rust. I think I know I have something that's supposed to look good with make good rust.
Just make sure that the paint does flow over the model or over the base.
Alright, let's go, let's do this. We're going to go back to here. We're going to say, how to, alright, wait, technical paint for rust. This one called rust. Citadel dry paints. Ryza rust. I think I have Ryza rust too. That would be obvious. That's Ryza rust right there. See, that's the picture I want. A rusted sword.
Need to give this one a shake, and well, here you can see it's actually very, very thick. And what you do is just load a bit on your brush. And I'm using a medium dry brush for this. Always best to use a dry brush for this technique.
Dry brush,
just pick
okay.
one appropriately sized to the job you're doing. What you do is start dabbing it on a piece of tissue like this to work it in amongst all the bristles. So be fairly rough with it. You want your brush to look like that when you're starting to apply it.
Okay.
So I have my ogre. Now his armour's been painted with lead belcher first of all, and then I've gone over it with typhus corrosion. And all you do is start dry brushing like this to the model. And now you really let that texture of typhus corrosion come into play as the orange starts picking up on it. There we are, how cool is that? Now whenever you're doing a technique like this, it's always important to understand that applying too little paint is better than applying too much, because you can always return to it and add some more later. But you just need to work your way round and build it up like this. And for an extra cool effect, once I finish doing this all over all the silver bits, I'm going to go around the edges of them with some rune fang steel, just to give a nice sharp chipped effect and just to build up that shape of the metal. So keep on adding this paint until you're happy. So there we go. I've just finished going around the edges of the armour with some rune fang steel. But, well, you can almost hear those armour plates clanking and grinding together, can't you? How cool is that effect?
Okay, so that works great. So basically, he did something similar to what I'm thinking of doing. So he uses this one. This is the paint that he's using for the rust, which is Riser Rust, which is rust right in the name. I guess that's more Xandri dust. The dust looked like more like the color I was thinking of, but maybe not. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I want to try to. He actually has a black, kind of a blackish color down. So what I'm gonna do is take this. It's actually not really black. It's like a dark brown, almost like a. Thing is, I don't want to completely cover my paint, so I'm looking for something that's dark colored. Maybe I should use this black. It'll probably hide. It'll probably shine through. And then I don't want to do it on the whole brush. I mean, they did it a little differently. I'm gonna, and theirs looks perfect, but I'm going to do it differently mainly because I started off different. And as such, wait, what did I? Which one was it? Which one was it? Can't find my paint, man. And they do kind of have a brown in there, and it's probably better for the purpose, but I don't know if I have a good. I wanted one that kind of shows the blade through it, so. But I'm hoping this black will give the contrast the Xandri dust is looking for. You can see I'm kind of going onto the blade slightly because I want it to kind of have that crossover effect. I'm going to do the same thing with the Xandri dust. Or not Xandri dust, the Riser Rust. My thought is it shouldn't require me to be exactly the same, right? It shouldn't be that complicated. You have to do it this exact way. Oh, look at all that paint on my hand. I didn't even see I had that much paint on my hand. This is what airbrushing without a... Without a, what do you call it? Airbrush. Without wearing gloves. A lot of people wear gloves when they airbrush so they don't get paint all over their hands. I obviously did not take that to mean I should. I probably should have. I don't have gloves for painting like that. I have gloves for painting when my hands are cold, but not gloves for painting. Keep my hands from getting covered in paint. You know, like they use like surgical gloves or... disposable gloves usually, right? Kind of hospital gloves. And we'll go one more coat on there. Actually, I'm getting that in my head that I should probably try something a little more brownish. Like they had an interesting, I don't know if that's a technical paint or what, because theirs looks like a thick black, like I don't know, like a dirty black, like a muddy or oily black. This is grim black. I don't know what that is. How does grim black differ from the rest? Well, for one, it's probably a lot thinner because this is well, that's an airbrush paint, but this is a contrast paint, so it's probably very similar in its. I'm kind of sloppily covering it because again, this is meant to look like rust. It's not like the blade is just black. I want more of the rise of rust to be on there. And we'll see how my silver points through once I'm done. Okay. We need to get some highlights on here, so I'm going to take some actual light green. While that sword dries a little before I put on my rise of rust. Let's go see if I can find some really light green, almost maybe even yellow green. Something of the very fair green. There's yellow green, but see. I was actually thinking maybe something more. Let's go with the demonic yellow. Natural wood. Let's do natural wood. Now this is just normal paint, but this is going to be I don't know, attempt at a highlight. Attempting a highlight. I've been working on a lot of minis here all at once. This is like the most minis I've ever had in progress at one moment, and actually moving on all of them. Usually it takes me days and weeks to. Alright, so let's go ahead. And this guy, like I said, he's just a goblin. I don't even know. He's a goblin that I just had on my table here, and I just said, screw it, let's paint him. So. Alright, so here I'm just trying to pop some highlights on him, you know? Make his jacket look a little bit more, I don't know, defined. I'd do something similar with the pants and everything too, but yeah, well, we're trying to up. Am I getting under the Am I getting under the camera again? Is that my big fat head? Oh yeah, I'm just. If I actually do go around and make these into a TikTok video, I'm gonna be cutting out so much crap. There won't be any video. There won't be any picture left. Plus, the quality of my camera is not good. So I don't even know how often it'll be like a blurry video. It's funny, we decided to move game night here, and I said, you know, hey, I guess, you know, have space base or whatever ready, and everybody's like, I want to play that, I want to play that, everybody's like, we're going to play that. It's like, wow, okay, I guess we're all playing space base tonight. So much so that we didn't know if we had enough, you know, it only plays 5 people, so 2 people went and bought it, but it still only plays 5 people, so we have to play 2 games. I mean, there's a Commander expansion, which will play 7 people, but nobody could get it because it's not around here. Hey TDL, how you doing, man? You know, let's see. You know, I'm trying to decide what's new in it. Besides the fact that I'm playing, you know, a new character. So I did not do the storyline, but there is a quest line that when you go in there, you start meeting this Desmond guy or whatever. Osmond or something like that, and you're trying to do this malignant hearts thing. You're helping him with his quest, so it's a quest line that you have to go through. So far, I haven't, and then they do add some things, like they're adding. Okay, so some things you get, some things you don't get. Okay, so I thought they were going to let you have all of your potions and skill point renown. You don't. You get all your first skill points, and most, at least for me anyway, and they gave me most of my potion renown. So it was real easy to get a lot of the potion renowns back. because I had to do a few quests in each area, and that pretty much got them all back. But the second skill point, you have to still go back and earn. So you do have to redo some of your renown. I think there's probably a lot of people who probably aren't thrilled by that. Because that means you end up doing like 3/5 of your renown again. At least for me. I mean, now granted, maybe that's something to do with what level I was. You know, that they only give you so much back based on your level. I don't know. I don't know how they decided what was going to be, carryover or not. But so anyway, these malignant heart things that you can get, they're basically like gems. They go into gem slots, or there's not into gem slots. They go into malignant heart slots on items that will get them. So far, I've only found rings that had it, and I haven't actually got any malignant hearts yet. I've gotten other malignant related things. Actually, no, I did get one, but I don't want it. I mean, it's not an ability that I care about. So I'm basically building a new druid. And this druid is working on being a storm druid that uses pets, and I'm going for a 0 shape-shifting build. We'll see how that works. So far, it's okay. I'm worried about the squishiness, though. It could become a problem if I decide to go stick with this. But the lightning can be pretty potent. It's just got to figure out how to do it in a way that allows me. Yeah, and I'm using my pet of choice, at least for now, is the poison creeper. I like the visual ones because it's cool to have them walking around with you and being able to turn your wolves into werewolves and do all that cool stuff. But I also don't know if there's any synergy there. And the poison creeper there's a lot of things you can do with that poison creeper that really allow you to amplify like crowd control effects. Slow and all that. Now, the nerfs that they did though on it's hard because now there's a lot of ways for me now in the current build what I'm doing. There's a lot of ways for me to get vulnerability and critical damage, and I'm like, but I don't know if that stuff's good anymore. I really don't know the answer to that because they mega nerfed it. So I don't know if the effect is still good. I mean, it's still a good thing. I mean, it adds damage, but how much damage, I don't know. And they basically, when you knock 60% of damage off of something, you're like, whoa. That's a significant reduction. That's the kind of thing you go, maybe I don't do that no more. So I'm not sure what's good anymore. But I do like my build. It's cool. It's fun to play because it's just cool to watch all the lightning bolts and all these little enhancements you can do to make your lightning bolts fire more often and do more damage. Or not do more damage, but, do more effects. And I haven't even gotten to the point where I can, get an ultimate. I'm close. I think I'm getting close to my ultimate area. I'm like level 15? No, 17. I got to level 17. Last night, well, like 14 or 15 last night, and then today I did a couple more levels. But needless to say, I'm enjoying it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not complaining about anything yet. Yes, the end game stuff can be a little tedious if you're doing a lot, but I haven't gotten to that point. So, to me, I haven't gotten to a point where I'm like, it's too boring. I haven't played as much lately. I've just been doing more other things. I've been trying to do more painting, get more other stuff done. Yes, well, squishy. Yes, kinda. They They did take away a lot of defensive stuff, or reduce, not take away, but reduce a lot of defensive stuff. But they also gave a lot of abilities boosts. So I'm not sure how much of those abilities offset some of those defensive buffs. I don't know. Rumor has it people are more squishy now. I haven't noticed it, but again, I'm just starting a character. In fact, I've been doing pretty good with a guy who doesn't shapeshift. Because, you know, druids get most of their buffiness from being shapeshifted. And as a non-shapeshifter, it's, you know, that's the test for me, right? And so far, I don't have too many complaints about how it's been going. But I haven't gotten far enough to really... It'll really come to know when you get to the nightmare areas, right? Because when you get to nightmare, that's when the monsters start hitting harder, and then they have more resistances. But then again, I should be stronger, so I don't know. I guess I'll see. I'll have to see how it compares. There's a lot of things I can do. Like, I'm actually using my both defenses right now, the Earthen Bulwark and the Cyclone Armor. So I use them together. And so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I may not be using them both at the time I get to Nightmare by then. We'll see. There's just a lot of things up in the air. I can't make a complete judgment call on it yet. It's just too many things. Too many questions for me to learn. Plus, I'm playing a whole new character. I mean, it's still a druid, but it's, to me, you know, learning how it works and whether it's still trying to decide how viable it is. It is kind of fun, but, you know, everything seems easy at the beginning. I have been killed. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm plowing through everything, but I think I've fared decently, considering. But yeah, I haven't like noticed that I've been like dying all the time or anything. I would have expected it almost at first, so it would have been hard for me to tell. Like, I had played the same kind of character. Now, I did play a little bit of my original character since the update, and I can't say that I really noticed the changes, but I didn't give it a lot of time, so I don't know. So it could just be that I just didn't give it any time to go, oh yeah, I'm dying all the time now. I didn't go into a nightmare dungeon and go, oh yeah, I'm dying everywhere. So that would have probably been a good test. Basically, people were complaining that the game was too easy. It's too easy, I don't even have to work. I'm going all the way to level 100 without any kind of resistance. So they said, okay, we'll fix that. So they fixed it. Now everybody's, oh yeah, you made me too squishy. It's hard now. And I just laugh. I'm like, well, you got what you asked for, people. You wanted it harder. It's harder. Like they say, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it. I think it's funny. Everybody wants everything to be hard, but they want it to be hard, but they don't want to actually be hard, you know? How do you get that? How do you get both? How do you satisfy people who are like, want it to be harder, but without you making it harder? I don't know. It's like, do you understand? Do you conceive what you're asking for, people? Hello? It's like, you complain and complain and complain, and then you get what you want, and then you're like, don't give it to me. People are dumb. Yeah, I said it. People are dumb. Let's put some of this riser dust on. I said I was going to. And I wanted to get that on there. I want to see what this does anyway. Alexa, what time is it? I have a watch on. I should probably look at it. 2:52 p.m. You know what? I think I will use this one because it's a really small area. Okay, so this has to be dry brushed. So we'll just go like that. I don't need a ton of it for sure. It's going to be a very quick thing. Oh, too much. Okay, let's try this. May have gone a little light. It does kind of look rusty though. But I don't think I might just be light on the amount of paint. I might have wiped off too much of the paint. Actually, it does look pretty good, to be honest. The more I sit here looking at it. It does kind of have a rusty sword effect, which is what I was aiming for, people. That's what I was aiming for. That's exactly right. Woohoo! This might actually be getting somewhere with this stuff. Let's go with a little bit more of that though. There you go. Rusty sword all in all, ready to go. Well, hopefully this is viewable. It's hard to say. I mean, I like him. He's coming out good. One more thing got to do here. Probably have other things I can make rusty, but I know how to do it now, so that's cool. The guy who was demoing this, I was watching online. He must not. He go through a lot of brushes. The way he was beating up on his dry brush, holy moly! It's like he must go through a lot of brushes, man. He was pounding and squishing and twisting, and it's like, oh my gosh, ouch! Ooh, ah. I was feeling the pain while he did it. I was like, I know he's really trying to just work it into the brush, but jeez. And he was he's like he works for, he's a, what do you call it? I think he was one of the official, like, Games Workshop example guys, demoing guys. Does a lot of their videos for demoing how things work. And I was like, So I gather that means you haven't actually played the game yet then, huh, TDL? I mean, with the new season that just came out. Alright, so I don't need that one out right now. Where's my salmon rose? Don't need that one. Where's the paint I grabbed? Is this one it? Nope, natural wood. That's the one I used on his shirt. Is it this one? Oh, dark sand. There we go, yeah. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 3:59 p.m.
4 o'clock, so I got about 30 minutes before people get here, so I'll probably have to be wrapping it up pretty quick here. For game night, and you say, wow, are you going to stream game night? Nah, I could. I have all my stuff here, but you know what? Nobody watches that stuff. Nobody watches other people play board games. Short of demoing it and actually, this is how you play, blah, blah, blah. But, I just don't think anybody watches. It would be fun, kind of, I guess. I don't know if I have time to set it up anyway. I mean, that's not true. I probably could. I'm just making excuses. I just don't know what I want to do there. I just don't think anybody would watch it. Because when I used to do the game night streams before, nobody. Not even, one or two people would view it later in post, maybe. I'd get one or two people would stop by and say hi, if we even acknowledged that they were talking. But a lot of times we were getting pretty good at acknowledging for a while, but just there wasn't anybody who'd come by. So I finally just said, you know what, it's not really worth it. This might be a little too late. Damn. I know, I keep bumping the camera, I'm sorry. It's because I don't have a good camera that can be like, I have my SLR worked good. I could put it way up here, but it kept freezing. I could put it way off the screen and zoom in and it would look good, and my head would stop bumping it. But alas, it's just not. I honestly think this is just too light. Now, if I think it's too light, you can always dull it. I mean, I could just put another coat of my wash over the top, and that'll darken it up for sure. So I'm not too worried about how dark it is. I knew I wanted it to be brighter pigment, but I didn't know it was going to be this bright. And I'm not talking, sorry. Kind of caught up in a detail focused moment, and sometimes I get caught up in those detail focused moments. I tend to be quiet. So bear with me for a moment while I hopefully get through this. Sometimes when you get these detail focused areas, focus required zones, if you don't, you start getting too many smudges and junk. And that's not cool. So did you go see the Barbie movie yet? You know, that movie is hard to get into right now. My wife and I actually thought about going to see it. And Oppenheimer. I want to see Oppenheimer too. Yes, I know. The ones everybody wants to go see right now. And they're crazy busy. I mean, they're sold out. I can't get into any of the theaters around here, man. It's like, nope, you can go shit here if you want to. If you don't mind sitting in separate sides of the theater, you can go together. Just can't sit together. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but it's not quite the same thing. Alrighty, so I think I got the highlights on this guy pretty good. I just think they might be a little bright. A little bit over the top. But there are ways to fix that a little bit. Probably be good to take my, I think I used Demon Brown actually, go over that again. Just kind of, just dim it a little bit. But, yeah, he's looking pretty decent. Demon Brown, Demon Brown, Demon Brown, Demon Brown. That black goes over here. Silver up there. Wasteland Brown. Don't think that's what I used. Demon Brown. So I look at a lot of these paints here and I go, they're all the same color. These dark color ones, until you stab them and go, oh, okay, once it starts spreading, you're going, okay, that's what that is. They're just so dark and they're just clumps. They just look almost like they're black. They're black, like they're not absorbing any light at all. And I'm like, yeah, I can't tell what those are until I paint with them. Then you spray them out. I mean, you can kind of tell some have a bluish hue and some have a blackish hue, and the light hits them just right. But, or if you can get a good light on them. But otherwise, they're just like, ugh. I have no idea what